it's Amanda with A.J.E What We Do, and I am just getting some of my garden ready for winter. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what it looks like and talk you through how I'm going to prep it. So coming back here, we've done a lot of the cleanup already. If I come over here and look where the pumpkins were, the corn, the lettuce, the beans, but the tomato is still a jungle. So we've had a lot of really cold nights, and so my tomato plants have kind of just gone woo and kind of drooped down. So I have a few cherries that are still like a little bit red that still came through. I'm going to pull those, but otherwise we're going to clean this up. And then my green onion's still coming through. It's fighting the cherry tomatoes here a little bit now just because of how overgrown the cherry tomatoes went. They kind of tend to do that every year. Otherwise we're kind of cleaned up, ready to go. And then my strawberries, we had that creeping Charlie come through really bad. So I'm going to try to clean that up a little bit, prune them back a little bit, and then we'll just finish getting them prepped also for winter. This has a few cherry tomatoes that went red. So we're going to save those. We're going to try them, see how they taste. So we come through here and we cleaned out all of those old tomato plants, pulled everything that we could from those, and got it cleared out. I've also been using my little garden weasel, kind of tilling up the soil here. See, there's a little bit of leaves that are still remaining. I cleaned up most of it, but a little bit in there will kind of become a natural compost in there, so I'm not too worried about those. There's not a lot either. And then there was a purple cabbage underneath of the tomato plants when I was clearing them out. So we're going to see if it comes back. There's also a lot of green onion still in here. I did cut back some of the bigger ones that were very overgrown. They were going to just start having some issues and taste a little too kind of sour almost as they get too big. So we'll let the little ones keep going. Also over here is where I'm going to be planting my garlic. So it's November, that's when we plant the garlic here, so it comes in next year. So just getting everything prepped so that way we're ready to go with that. And I also need to cut back the strawberries a little bit. You can see we have some yellow leaves too. I'm just going to prune those up, get them ready for winter. I'm going to come through each of these little garden beds that we haven't had anything for a while, till up the soil a little bit, pull out any of those other additional weeds that have come through as you see over here, just kind of get it cleaned up. And also my the strawberries over here where the creeping Charlie has taken over, still need to come back and do that. So a little bit more work to do, but we're getting there. Garlic is one of the easiest things that I grow. So we are in the far corner of my little garden bed, and I've got 12 cloves of garlic. I've got 12 little holes dug. So garlic being the super easy what it is. And these are all cloves from what I grew last year. You just take the clove, and I'm trying to do it with one hand, and you put it so that the kind of stem side where the root would have been attached is down. And then you just cover it in with dirt. And you repeat. So next one, the little clove sides down, and just throw it in. I just go a couple inches into the ground, nothing too big. This way we can just get them all in here. I had taken off a lot of the kind of, I guess you would call it the wrapper that's around it. That way it kind of gives it a little bit room to breathe. We'll just kind of push that in a little bit more. Didn't dig that one as far as I should have. So, first year I did this, I think I did 6 cloves of garlic. So I was just playing, I didn't know what I was doing. And they came in, they were on the smaller side, but all was good. Second year I did 9. Last year I think I did 10. This year I'm doing 12. Kind of going up to where I have the onion. And then my last 3 I'm just putting up here. This is where we will plant the zucchini come springtime. But the zucchini tends to really start blossoming once the garlic's done. So the timing of them is kind of perfect. Okay, we'll just put that there. So they kind of coincide next to each other. The zucchini I'll put back there, and then I usually do a basil right there. You can see the garlic will be up here, and then kind of adjacent to the onion. They're not bad together. They're not true companion plants, I don't believe, but they do all right next to each other, and then that way I can really utilize this section of the garden bed pretty well. So I'm looking at my little bin where my strawberries are, and this is where we had so much creeping Charlie that it really is permeated everywhere. Like I look over here, I look over here. I might end up just taking everything out of here or really cutting it back so that way I can make sure to get all the creeping Charlie out and getting this back down to basics, which means next year I probably won't have any strawberries in here, but this needs help more than just the little bit I was going to do. So this is going to take a major cleanup. We're going to handle that separately. And just really cut all the growth back, good and bad, so we can get all the bad out of there, which is unfortunate, but it's what we got to do. Good thing about this is if we leave enough roots in, strawberries are resilient enough, they might come back, and if not, I've got a whole big chunk, oh hi Gus, over there. I should be able to transplant some of those. So I'm not too worried about it, just might not have too much with the strawberries here next year, but knowing that I'm doing it for a good reason. So everything else is cleaned up, ready to go, garlic planted. Gus is excited. One of the other things that we have to do is maintain Big Red here. So what I have is this, it's called a burning bush. It turns red in the fall, which is really cool. But as you can see, mine is getting a little bit big. So and if I'm going to come over here to my neighbors, you can kind of see it's kind of pretty much on their driveway. So we're going to cut it back, do some trimming of it, get this ready for winter as well. You don't want to do it when it's all green and big and bright, like doing it now. Most of the leaves have been falling off, and you can see the little buds are coming in. So this is actually a pretty good time to trim this one. You can wait a little bit later in the season, but I've got time today and it's nice, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. So we've gone through and we have treated Big Red to a little bit of a haircut. So that way she's nice and trimmed up. And we do this probably every 2 to 3 years. You can see the pile of branches that we have, but just kind of gets some of the stragglers out of there, keeps it healthy, and also keeps it off my neighbor's driveway. So, yeah, looking good. All right, so came back. I ripped out so much. It hurts. It does. You can see I left a little bit of the strawberries. Try to pull as much of the creeping Charlie as I could. And what I'm going to do is kind of like just basically leave it like this over the winter. We're going to see what comes in. If there's any more creeping Charlie, hoping I can get it by the root. Keep pulling it out. You can see, ooh, that's probably the root of that one. And then that way, just keep at it, try to get it all cleared out so we can have the strawberries go fresh again without any interference. To see what I need to do to try to keep those, prevent them from growing in here, especially since this is adjacent to my neighbor's garden or their lawn. I don't have any control over what they do, unfortunately, but I need to do what I can to protect my crop. So not going to have much of one here next year. That's okay. We will figure it out as we go along. Plus, we know that we have that other section of strawberries over there. There really wasn't any creeping Charlie over there, just a couple of their weeds that I had pulled out. So that's still good. I'm going to get some of that yellow out of there, and then we're going to be putting mulch over this and just kind of keeping it nice for the winter. So that way, come springtime, we'll have some strawberries over here, and we'll just go from there. So you can see now I'm officially, I think, prepped for winter. And we'll continue this next year. This was Amanda with A.J.E, What We Do. I'll talk to you later.